Recording in progress.
Last week, I asked everyone to replicate what we did in class. Do we have anyone that have completed that? Hello? Hello?
I have completed.
Who is that?
Patricia.
Patricia. Oh, you have completed yours. Any other person? Wow. I guess it's only Patricia that have done that. So, Patricia, can you share your screen? Let me see what you have done. Let me see the number of users that you created and then how you post them. You can share your screen, Patricia.
Okay.
Can you expand your screen? Okay, nice. Hey, brother, Adibusola, what happened that you have not finished your own assignment? Damiri, what happened? Annie, why?
So I lead my laptop. I told you I was ordering a new laptop. It just got delivered yesterday, so I just finished. I was in the process of installing all the servers and every other thing to the new laptop yesterday. So I hope to finish it today.
Okay, well, I didn't forgive you for not doing my assignment, sure.
My old laptop is full. Like all of a sudden, it's full. I had to impromptu order these new laptops.
Okay, no problem. What about you, Annie? Are you among people that are protesting in Kenya? Damiri, what about you? You didn't finish what I asked you to finish last class. Okay. So I can't hear you.
You know?
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Okay. So Patricia, you
can
can
you?
log in. I can see your screen, you can log in.
Okay. Mhm. You can see my screen?
I see your screen, but it's too small. Oh,
Okay,
God.
let me explain.
It's too tiny.
Okay. I'm trying to find a way to expand the words.
Okay, don't worry, don't worry. I can live with this. Okay, so
I ran into some problems when I was configuring the DHCP, but I was able to figure it out.
that's nice.
The configuration was not really working. It was giving me error 270 or something like that. And then I was able to add around 6 or 7 members, and I created the entry level staff. And here are some of the members. I added 4 members on that, and then I created, this is a group, then there were the members, then I also made a added on the administrator, where I was the administrator of my server.
Okay. That's this good really. I'm happy. I mean, I'm good. I'm fine with what you have done. It shows that I mean you are learning. You are learning something. I mean, it's nice. That's really, really good. Well done, Patricia. And for others that have not done their
Okay.
own, finish yours too, because that's the only test that you're actually doing something. And I'm taking note of people that are doing my assignments because I'm giving report to the organizer. It's not, we're not just here to just talk. It's an hands-on class, so I want everybody to get their hands dirty and do one or two things too. So if you have problems, you can always reach out. Even though I'm busy, I will always make time to, attend to all your problems. So I want to carry everybody along my class. I want everybody to follow me the same way I'm moving so that at the end of the whole program, you can say, oh, this is what you have learned in this program. So today we are going to add a device to our domain. Now, the illustration I gave you last week was now all of you are employees of Tech IT. Now you work in Tech IT now. We've created different groups and we've added you to different groups as well. We created users and added them to different groups. Now, each and every one of you now, we need to give you a laptop. Now, the laptop that we're giving you is a company laptop, so it belongs to Tech IT. The Tech IT owns that laptop. So what they do is they add the laptop to a domain, meaning that you can only access the permissions they give you on the domain. So now, for instance, now if you're an administrator on the domain, so if they give you a laptop and you log in with your laptop and the laptop is added to the domain, whatever an administrator can do on their own computer, you can also do it. But if you're an ordinary user, just an ordinary user on if you're an ordinary user on the domain, so when they give you a laptop and you log in as another user, anything administrative duty, you can't do it. So that's why company laptop, there are things that you can't run. You can't run software unless you give you administrative privilege. If you want to run the software, you have to put in administrator's username and password. So once they give you an office laptop, you can only use it for what it is intended for. You can't just use it like your personal laptop. You can't do a lot of things. It's restricted to what the sysadmin wants you to do alone. So now we have a laptop that I want to give to each and every one of you. So we need to add them to the domain so that we can be able to manage them and see what they do. Then with that, we can monitor when you come into the office and when you go out. You can monitor when this laptop is active and then when it's down. You can monitor. At times, you can even monitor your logs where you visit. If you are using the office laptop to apply for jobs, they can see it. So those are things that Active Directory gives permission to, even though most companies does not do that. Yes, they don't check if you are applying for jobs or anything, they don't care. But they make sure that you are restricted to a lot of things, like installing softwares, because at times when you install a malicious software, it can affect the network and then bring ransomware to the environment. So there are some things that you are restricted to do on the Active Directory if your system is connected to a domain controller for security reasons. Most of the time it's for security reasons. So now we are going to configure our laptop to be connected to a domain. So that's what we want to do tonight. I'm sharing my screen. So can everyone see my screen? Can everyone see my screen now? Confirm if you
Yes,
can
we
see my
can.
screen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now this is our system, our server. Now you can see we have the Active Directory, domain controller, the DNS, the CACP, and all. So now the next thing is we're going to add our Windows 10 here, which we want to give to any one of the users in the company. We want to add it to this Active Directory. So you go to our Active Directory users and computer. You can see we have a list of users. You can see users that we have here. You can see them. But if we go to computers, we have none. So now, if you add the computer to this domain controller, you get to see all your computers here. So what we're going to do now is we are going to add computers, and then we are going to log in with any of these users, and then we are going to monitor. We're going to see how the computer can be monitored. So now let's go to our computer and switch it on. Okay, so we are powering our computer on. Okay, so oh, 1 minute. I don't have the computer Windows 10 that we can use here. Mm, uh, mm, okay. So I need to install another Windows 10. This is another Windows 10 for another uh person, another class. So we quickly need to install Windows 10. 1 minute. So we need to install the Windows 10 for this class. The one that I'm having here is not for the class, so we can't use it. Uh, can anybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
We need to install another Windows 10 for our own class, so we can't use this. Okay. So install it Windows 10. Yeah. Price. Okay, I have one here. So I'm installing Windows 10. Let's name it Tech IT. Then go to 10 Pro. Going to be license key. Okay. See, store as a single file. Next. So everything is fine. Oh, this is going to take a while. So So I'm trying to install Windows 10 now. Oh. Almost done. So the window 10 is up now. So now this is the new system that we want to give out. Now, first of all, you have to make sure that the Windows server and this window 10 can connect with each other. So let's log in again. So we need to ensure that they can communicate with each other. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me check the IP address for this. Now, the IP address for this is 8930. While this one is 89145, which means both of them are on the same network. So let's ping them and see if they can communicate with each other. Can everyone hear me? Like, hello?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So now we can see that both of them are on the same network. This one is 192.168.89.145, while this one is 192.89.30. So both of them are on the same network. So let's see if we can ping the window 10 from here. 145. Now we can't. It's not going to. Let's see if we can ping the server from here. But 30. Now we can ping the server, but we can't ping the window 10. Meaning that the window 10 can reach the server and window 10 can reach the server, but the server cannot talk to window 10. So there's one thing that window does. They have a firewall that blocks any form of communications by default on them. So for this window 10, we need to disable the firewall to ensure that the window server and the window 10 can communicate effectively. So you go to your Windows system and search for firewall and go to Windows firewall and then turn it off completely. So we are turning the firewall off completely to ensure that both of them can communicate effectively. Yeah, so let's try again. Now, they can communicate with each other. So this and this can communicate. So if you're in your system, if you are trying to ping the server and the server is not going to, check the firewall. And on your Windows 10 too, if you are trying to ping Windows 10 from the server and it's not going to, check the firewall. That's the first thing that you should check. Before you start, after I've confirmed that both of them are on the same network and their network is fine, check their firewalls. Then after the firewall, I mean, that's when you can start troubleshooting further to see what might be wrong. But now they can communicate with each other. So how do we add this Windows to this Active Directory? So now we know our domain name for this Active Directory, which is who can remind me our domain name? Hello? Who can remind me our domain name for this server? Anyone? Hello?
Hello.
What's the domain name for this server?
Is it take it 0?
No, that's the NetBIOS name. The domain name itself. This is our domain name. techit.local. That's the domain name. This is the system name. The
Okay.
Tekit0 is the NetBIOS name. Our name on the network is Tekit0. This is the computer name. This is our domain name. So the computer name dot the domain name. So in order to add this Windows 10 to this server, we need to be able to ping the domain name from here. So what are we going to do is we're going to do techit.local and see if it's going to ping it. Now they can ping each other. So it's going through. So we can ping techit.local. So if we do having 4, so now we can see you can ping techit.local from here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come to File Explorer to add this to the domain name, to the domain controller, which is the Active Directory. We go to Properties, and then we go to Advanced System Settings. Then you go to Computer Name. So you can see this is our computer name here. Now we're going to change it to TechIT001, which is the first system for TechIT. So that's what we're going to do. We change the name first to TechIT01. So that's our computer name here. But this name is too long. Let's just use IT001. 001. So this is the computer name. So whenever we whenever we add this computer to the domain, we are going to be seeing this as a computer name on our server. So let's rename the computer name first before we join it to the domain. Okay, we need to restart it. Start now. So the reason why I changed the name is for us to have a uniform name for our computers. Because if you have opportunity to work in an organization that gives computer out, they have a specific way of naming their computers so that whenever adding them to the domain, they'll be able to monitor, okay, this computer 1, this computer 2, this computer 3. So in their catalog or in their library, they'll be able to know that who is carrying computer 3, who is using computer 2. So if there's anything that happens on the network, they'll be able to, it will be easy for them to trace that computer to its owner. So that's what I just did now. So I just changed the computer name to IT1. So if you're adding another department, another laptop to the computer now, the computer name will be going to be IT2. Then like that, like that, like that. So after we added that to the domain and then we've registered it to a user, we'll be able to know that okay, fine, IT1 is used by Damiri. So IT2 is used by Patricia. So we'll be able to know who is using which laptop in our organization. So that's for effective resource management, device management, and then you can always investigate when an issue happen. You will be able to use it allows you to easily investigate an issue on the network. So let's say that Mary click on a malicious link now and then that link affected our network negatively. When we are doing our forensics analysis or we are trying to investigate what happens, we can easily narrow down the computer that caused the attack to our environment because we know who is carrying 01, we know who is carrying 02 based on the way the computers are named and then the users are connected to it. So that's it. So this is coming up. Uh, this subject is taking a while. You know, today. This is taking a while. I don't know what happened. The update is taking a while. Ah, yo, the update is taking a while. Ah, oh, okay. Oh, yo. Finally, it's starting. Okay. Okay, so File Explorer, then properties. And you can see our name has changed from normal desktop long names to IT001. Then we'll go to advanced system settings and computer name, and then we'll go to changes. So now we can see this computer is a member of Go group. We want to add it to a domain now. So we are going to click domain and we're going to apply the domain name techit.local. Now we're going to use this name, this domain name. We want to add this computer to this domain name. So we click OK now. You can see we can't add this to the domain name because of one reason. This IP address, this domain name needs to be resolved to a DNS. And then for the fact that this computer, this Windows 10 is speaking is DHCP from the virtual machine, which is this virtual editor, is the one that is giving IP address to this machine, is going to carry all the informations that this virtual machine is giving. So we need to go to the network and change the IP address, the DNS, to this server's IP, so that whenever we are talking to this domain, it can be solved with the IP address of the server. I don't know if you understand what you said now. Hello? Hello?
I do
Hello,
not
can everyone hear me?
understand.
Yes.
Yeah?
I
You
do not
understand what I
really
said
I
now?
don't understand.
Okay,
know.
so now, this techit.local is not able to resolve with the IP address of the server on Windows 10, because this Windows 10 is picking his IP address from the VM. So the VM does not understand that there's a server that has a domain name. It's just giving everybody an IP address based on the fact that it's an interface that's giving people IP address. So for this techit.local to be resolved with the IP address of the server, we need to change the DNS settings on the Windows 10. So to do that, we go to the network settings, adapter settings, and then we go to the internet properties. Now the IPv4 settings. Okay, we'll click on properties. Now we can see now that this system is picking IP address automatically from the VMnet. It's not a default IP. So it's the DHCP that is assigning every IP network properties to this system. So we're going to leave the IP address to be picked automatically, but we're going to change the DNS. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use this server's IP address as our DNS, so that this name can be resolved with the IP address I want to give here. So that's the only way we can add this device to the domain controller. Does that make sense? Hello?
Yes, it makes sense.
Can everyone hear me? It makes sense to Patricia. I'm not sure if it makes sense to other people.
To me, it does.
Yeah?
To
Yes,
me,
sir.
it does.
Yes, yes.
I can't hear you. Hello?
Yes, sir. I understand now.
Okay, good. So what we're going to do now is we are going to add the IP address of the server here. 168.89.89, then 30. So that's the IP address of the server. So now whenever we want to resolve this, it will resolve with the DNS that is in our network settings. So let's try it again. So now you can see now we can log in now. So it requires administrators username and password to add this device to the domain controller, because we've added this device DNS to DNS, the IP address of the server to this device DNS. So this name can be resolved with the IP address. So now they cannot communicate on the domain level, on the DNS level. So let's put our administrator's password. Administrators. And then the password of administrator. And then click OK. You can see now we've been able to add this device to the domain controller now. So if you go to our server now, we are going to see the name of this device there. So let's click OK, and then we start. So this is going to take a while it's going to update it. So now every settings that that the domain controller has for any host that we connected to it by default is going to be updated to this system. So it means that whoever logs into this system now has and can be monitored from the domain controller. So now this device has been added to the domain now. So if you go back to the domain, so now if you go to the computers now and we refresh, now we can see now we have IT01. Now we have a device that has been added to the domain. So now the device is still restarting. So after it restarts, it's going to take an update from this server. So now whatever we want to do to this Windows now, to this device now, we can do it from this domain. We can push configuration, we can push settings, we can push policy, we can push anything to the system, because the system now is being managed by the Active Directory. Does that make sense now? Hello? Hello? So now you can see now we want to sign into this techit.0, which is our NetBIOS name. So now we need a username. Let's say Damiri. Damiri, what's your last name?
Maala.
Can you type it on the chat box?
Okay.
Okay. Mahala at techit.local. Now, we're going to put the password that we use when we're registering Damiri as a user on the Active Directory. Now, you can see now, based on the policy that we did last week, the users must change the password before signing in. So now the default password that is given to Damiri has expired at this point. So she needs to put a new password, which means that the system is now in her domain. She owns the system. She can do and undo on the system based on the access she has on the Active Directory. So we do a new password for Damiri. And then now the password has been changed. Now you can see now that Mary is logging in to the domain, to the system as a user. Now, so if you go here now, we go to this computer now, we can monitor what happens on the computer. So you can see, you can reset the account of the computer, you can disable the account that's on the computer, and then we can move and manage the computer as well. So you can do as now. From properties, we can see the information about the computer. You can see that the name of the computer is it01.techit.local. You can see that it's a workstation or a server. You can see operating system that is running on and the version. So the member that is the computer belongs to is a domain computer. So we can add it to another domain. If we want to create groups for our computers, we can create a group for the computers and add the group and add the computer to a group. The delegations, locations, managed by, and all those informations can be added automatically manually to the computer. So for easy management. So let's go now. So now our computer has been logged in successfully to the domain controller. So that's how to add the computer to the domain controller. So now, from here now, we can now push configurations, we can push settings, we can push anything that we want on the computer. We can do and undo, basically, because the computer is now in our power. We can manage it. Now, let's see if we go to users now. Where is Damiri? Damiri. Now, let's go to properties. And then let's see sessions. So, node control. So now we can see from here, we can see number of times that Mary is logged in a day, in a week, number of times that his logged on was denied, number of times he put a wrong password and then it was denied to access into the system. We can see them here. We can know when the Mary is active on the network and when it's not active on the network. So we can also see the system that the Mary is logged on to. So if we want to specify the number of systems that Damari can log on to here, we can also specify it as well. So those are things that we can do from the user's perspective. Now the device is still there, and then now we can log in now. So now we have to log in with the new password that Damari created. I'm not sure if Damari is an administrator here. Let me check. Damari is an admin. Properties, number of. Okay. So it's not an admin here, just a user. Okay, it's a DNS admin. Let's see what she can do on here now. So now, Damari has a computer now. Damari is a member of DNS admin. So let's see what Damari can do on this laptop. So let's see if you can change. You can see now, our network now is being monitored by techit.local. So everything, basically everything that the system owns now is being connected, is being monitored by techit.local. So whatever changes that you want to do, unless TechIT domain controller give you access to do it, you can't do it. So now, basically, the system is not you again. You don't own it. It belongs to TechIT. So whatever you want to do, it has to be authenticated by TechIT domain controller. So let's see if we can change network settings. Here now, let's see, change adapter options, and then come here and do properties. You can see now, before we do anything here, we need administrator's password. That, before, when we want to change network properties, it's not asking us for administrator's password. If you want to do it on your system, it's not going to ask you for administrator's password. But now you have been added to a domain. There are things that you can't do again. You can change network configurations. So now, if I bring a software and I try to install it on it, let me see if I have a software in my system that I can send to the system and see if I will be able to install it. Okay, let me see. I have one here. Okay. So now I have a software here. I pasted the software. It's a notepad software. So now let me try and set it up. This is not it. So this is it. Let's see. You can see I can't install the software. For me to install the software, I also need administrator's password to do that. So that's what adding a device to a domain controller means. Elizabeth, what's your question?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So this you're teaching us now is on an organizational level, right?
Yes.
Okay, so my question is, what if it is on a personal PC? How do you resolve like a cyber security attack on a personal PC? Would you go through all these processes?
No. So now, if your system is attacked by a malware and you want to know, most of the time you have to go to events, system events. So now to do that, you can just do event viewer. Event viewer here. You can see event viewer here. You can see there are different logs. You can see Windows logs. See anything that has to do with Windows operating system logs, Windows applications, security setup and systems, forwarded event and all. Then you can also see all the applications that you install, all their logs as well here, and other things. So that's where you can start investigating issues that happen on your system. So if you want to see applications, you can see now, there's something that we try to run, fail with this error, license activation, because we don't have access to install the software. This is the error that we got. So everything that we're trying to do and it fails, we got the error. So this is where you see information about what actually happens on your device. So if you have run a malicious script and then you don't know where it comes from or how it happens, you can come to Event Viewer to see what you have actually done on your device. But on an administrative level that you just asked, I can also do that for my Active Directory as well. So I can monitor events of other systems and investigate what has happened on them. Does that make sense now, Elizabeth?
Yes, sir. But I want to believe that it is relative to malwares that you can use events viewer for.
Yes. Related to malware incidents that happen. In fact, if you are installing it's a ransomware, how a ransomware is moved on your system, you can also see it here because ransomware is doing something on your system. Maybe it's either encrypting a file or encrypting a folder. You can see it from Event Viewer, and also you can see it from Task Manager as
Okay,
well.
so it can
See a process that's yeah.
okay.
I can't hear you.
No, sir.
Okay, so you can see from Event Viewer and also see from Task Manager too, and see
I said
which
so it can
process.
malware.
I can't hear you. I
I
can't hear
said
you,
that means it
Elizabeth.
can be used, the event viewer can be used for all.
Yes,
Sir,
you can
can
be
you
for
hear
other
me now?
things too. Yes, I can hear you. You can be for other things too. Doesn't necessarily have to be malware. It can be for other things as well. You are trying to install a software and it's failing. You are trying to view a file folder and it's failing. Yes, you can check it from there as well. So now, if I want to push softwares to this system now, I can't install it myself. I need to push it from this Active Directory. So tomorrow we're going to just do that. Push softwares, change their wallpaper and their settings. If you don't want your users to be able to see time and dates, you can remove it as well. You don't want them to access a file or a folder, you can also do that as well. So all those things can be done from the Active Directory. We just push the policy that we are trying to configure to the Windows 10, to the client that we have here. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. And that's where we're going to start from tomorrow. Any question? Any question for today? There's no question. Okay, Damili.
Just a request.
Okay.
Can we be able to get this recording tonight so that we can also go through it? And as we keep on, by tomorrow we can really catch up well and understand more.
I will tell that to your coordinator if they can do that tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? Elizabeth.
Okay, sir. I'm having issues with downloading my Windows server. So I spoke
What
to
else?
my brother's friend for the laptop. He
Eh?
said that I should partition my. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
So my Windows server, I've been trying to download it. It will get to a point. It got to 3 point something gig and it canceled and started afresh and all that. So my brother's friend was saying that I should partition the hard drive. I don't know if I can do that.
No, you don't need to partition the hard drive to download the server. The issue that you're having is network issues, not partition issue. Don't partition your system. You don't need any partition for your system to work. Everything you want to do, you can do it on your VL. Don't partition system.
All right, so
Partitioning system is like the olden days version of virtualization. Who's the person in this 21st century?
okay, sir. Thank you,
Partitioning
sir.
system. Yeah. Just find a good network. Maybe wake up in the midnight to download it when network is good. So that's it. Any other question?
Thank you, sir.
Adibusola, have they filled their attendance?
Yes, I've got it.
So no problem. I will make sure that you get your recordings. If it's possible to get it tonight, I will talk to you so that you can also do this before tomorrow's class so that you not be far behind me as I go. So thank you everyone. I have to go and take care of my flu so that we can have enough time to spend with each other tomorrow. So thank you everyone. Do have a lovely night.
Thank you,
See you
sir.
tomorrow.
It's a good night.
Yeah. Good night. Bye.